Well, I have to tell you, our Speaker of the House, our Democrat Speaker of the House, went on the radio and and said essentially that it must be that Maine students are poor test takers. So, what do you say to that?
I say that's outrageous. That is, you know what? I would
Are
probably
are
try to
you
create a
honestly thinking
parent
they're
group.
great test takers?
What does that even mean? Like all the children are bad test takers, therefore the state will take no action. Even if that was a true statement, which it's not, that would be, a compelling reason to take action to improve your education system, right? Uh,
100%.
that's insane,
Maybe you don't want to, of course, we don't want to teach to the test, but
right?
if it's a universal fact that our kids are terrible test takers, we probably should address that. I think the fuller comment was, well, I wasn't a fantastic test taker. Some kids are just not great at tests. But when you're looking at test results for an entire state versus test results for another state, there's a reason they call them standardized tests.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
a global assessment, like maybe kids are just poor test takers.
Yeah. Well, speaking of science, that is not necessarily how statistics and probability work. It is impossible that 100% of Maine students are bad test takers. So perhaps your House Speaker needs to go back to a little bit
Well,
of schooling there.
maybe so. I think it illustrates that they're kind of like at the end of their rope of what they can try, right? Our education system here in Maine is funded more than it ever has been in our past. Like we have historical
Wow.
levels of funding going into education, yet our results have never been worse. So what else do you try?
Yeah.
So I think, there's no good answer. So you come up with something in the moment, like,
Yeah. Like we're bad test takers. Well, look, on the education funding, I mean, that is one thing in Mississippi for years and years. The Democrats were like, we're not fully funding education, and that's why we have poor outcomes. So Republicans have increased education funding, but tying it to accountability and outcomes. And so to me, it's a bit unconscionable that Maine would invest more in education and see that inverse relationship to lower test scores. That's, parents, teachers, lawmakers. I just don't think, you shouldn't settle for that.